In this video, you will learn how to find percent of increase and percent of decrease, also called percent of change. To find the percent of change, we need to know two things. What is the amount that it changes, and what was the original amount? And we simply divide. Here's a real-life example. In this bottle of shampoo, there is 40% more shampoo for free versus the 12.6 ounce size of the same shampoo. In this case, the original amount is 12.6 because the original bottle is 12.6 ounces. To find the amount of change, we need to subtract 18 ounces minus 12.6 ounces. That's the difference between the two bottles of shampoo. 18 minus 12.6 is 5.4. Now we simply divide. Remember to always divide the top number by the bottom number. So when you use the calculator for this, you're typing in 5.4 divided by 12.6. When you divide this, you're going to get 0.42857,142, and it's going to repeat forever. We don't need all of these digits, so we can cut down to about 3 or 4 digits. That was the decimal version of the percent, so we need to change it to a percent by multiplying by 100, or moving the decimal 2 places to the right. Now we have 42.8%. I'm just going to round this up to 43% to make the thought process easier here. So that 18-ounce bottle of shampoo has not only 12.6 ounces in it, but it also has 43% of 12.6 ounces. Let's start with some more examples. Example number 1. What is the percent of change? 25 miles per hour up to 35 miles per hour. The first thing to notice is that the number is going up. So this is a percent of increase. Remember, to find the percent of change, we need to find the amount that it changed and the original amount. Then we divide them. The amount of change can be found by subtracting the numbers 35 minus 25, and the original amount is the amount that it was first, so 25. 35 minus 25 is 10, and then we just divide. 10 divided by 25. That gives us the decimal form 0.4, or 4/10. Then we need to change it into a percent. Multiply by 100, or move the decimal over 2 places to the right. 40% increase. Remember that it's an increase because we went from 25 up to 35. Example number 2, 35 miles per hour to 25 miles per hour. Okay, so we're using the same two numbers. It seems like we should get 40% decrease, right? But that's not really the case. Let's see what happens here. Remember, we have to find the difference, or the amount of change. So 35 minus 25. But when we divide, we have to divide by the original amount, which is 35 in this case. 35 minus 25 is 10, so now we can do 10 divided by 35. Remember, in the first problem, when it was 25 miles per hour up to 35 miles per hour, we had 10 divided by 25. This time, it's 10 divided by 35. That gives us 0.2857, and it's going to continue to go on. But that's the decimal form, and we need the percent form. So multiply by 100, or move the decimal 2 places to the right, and we end up with a 28.6% decrease. 28.6 came from rounding to the nearest tenth. We took that 7, which is 5 or higher, and that told us that we should round the 5 up to a 6. Decrease because we went from 35 down to 25. Let's look real quickly at those first two examples again. 25 miles per hour to 35 miles per hour was an increase, and when we did the math, we found that it is a 40% increase. That's because the difference, which is 10, is 40% of the original 25, as opposed to, in example 2, the difference, which is 10, is only 28.6% of 35. When the original number is different, your percent is going to be different. Looking at these two examples is really to show you that you need to make sure you read the problems carefully. One small difference can be a difference in your answer as well. We'll try one last example, example number 3. This time we're going to find the new amount. So what we know is the original amount and the percent of change. In this situation, someone makes $14 per hour, but then they get a 5% raise. A raise is an increase. There are 2 main steps to finding the new amount. First, find the percent of the original number, then add that to the original number. So our first step is to figure out how much we have to add to our salary. What is 5% of $14? That's going to tell us the small amount of the $14 that we're going to make in addition to the $14 we already make per hour. You've learned a few different ways to figure out percent of a number. Use whatever method is the easiest for you. In this situation, I'm just going to use an equation. For what is, we can use question mark equals, because the what is our unknown, and is means equals. 5% just needs to be written as a decimal, so divide by 100 or move the decimal 2 places to the left, so 0.05. The word of means times in this case, and 14 is just 14. So our equation ends up being unknown equals 0.05 times 14. When we multiply that, we get 0.7 or 7/10. But remember that we are looking for an amount of money. We want to know what 5% of 14 is. So that 0.7 is actually 70 cents. That 70 cents is your raise. Now we have to add that to the 14 you are already making. $14 plus 70 cents for $14.70 per hour. That will give you your new amount of money that you make per hour. So we started with the $14 per hour, then we found 5% of that 14 and added them together to find out what the new amount of money would be. Now you know how to find percent of change, which is also called percent of increase and percent of decrease. Thanks for watching.